Is there never enough time for everything? Do you feel constantly interrupted or behind? And do you want to be productive and present for your kids? This is for you. By the end of this video, you will know how to save 5 to 7 hours every single day. I give you a list of small, doable shifts that stack into a real change. You will feel more in control of your time, energy, and space. Stop feeling chaotic, reactive, and draining. You're not failing. Your time has just been taken away from you without you noticing. This video isn't about waking up earlier or micromanaging your entire day. It's about making tiny, flexible changes that actually fit into your real life, even when the baby's crying or the inbox is exploding. So, let's jump in. The first tip is focus, which is gonna save 25 to 30 minutes every day for you. I used to be in the middle of a task and suddenly remember I need to book the dentist, or I need to order rain boots, or I need to reply to this friend. And then I would stop doing what I was doing right now. That just broke my flow every single time. And half the time I didn't even finish what I was originally doing. So here's the thing. When you're focused on something like work and you stop because of one tiny thought, it takes 25 minutes to get back to the same level of concentration. So what could take 30 minutes now takes an hour. And when I was with my kids or reading a book, I would do the same thing. I would stop the moment something popped in my head. But those moments are also really precious and I didn't want to interrupt them anymore. So now I capture every random thought in one place. I use my phone for that. I use a mix out of Apple Notes, Apple Reminders, and Apple Calendars. So whenever a thought comes in, I pop it directly in the notes or reminders, or even if it's an appointment in the calendar, and then just out of my head. But you don't need to do these apps, but you do whatever works best for you. May it be a hands-on notebook or sticky notes or other apps like Todoist or Notion or Things. It's just important that it's a centralized system, so you don't need to wonder where you put it and you can rely on that so that you will find everything in there. That way you don't lose anything and you don't lose your focus either. So how do I get to this time estimate? I get interrupted like at least 3 to 4 times a day. Each one of those cost me actually 5 to 10 minutes of focus and recovery. That's 25 to 30 minutes gone every single day. So now let's use the time we do have better, starting with those random in-between moments throughout the day. I call this portable productivity, and it actually saves me 30 to 60 minutes a day. I mean, maybe you know these too, these little moments where you're waiting in the car pickup line, at the doctor, or you're just riding the subway to work. And I used to scroll aimlessly. I was on Instagram or messages and refreshed, and it felt like a break, but afterwards I felt more drained and still behind on a million things I had to do. So now I keep a list, literally a note on my phone of things I can do while waiting. I call this my spare time list. And there I reply to texts I ignored earlier, or I can pay bills in that time with my phone. I can order groceries, or I listen to a podcast I love, or read a few pages in a book. Sometimes I even just sit and breathe and do nothing on purpose, and it feels way better than this doom scrolling. So, how do I get to the time? So I probably hit these in-between moments 4 to 6 times a day, and every time 5 to 15 minutes each. And that adds up to 30 to 60 minutes that can be used with intention instead. And it's not just these in-between moments. Let's talk about those weird 12-minute chunks in your day, you know, right before a meeting or when you're waiting for your next Zoom call to start. And that is what I call the 2-minute rule that actually saves 20 to 30 minutes a day as well. So you've got 10 minutes before your next thing. What do? I used to grab my phone every single time. And I thought, well, I can't do anything important in 10 minutes, right? But 10 minutes, 5 times a day, that's almost an hour. So I made a list of things that I can do that take 2 minutes or less. Put dishes in the dishwasher, throw in a load of laundry, wipe the bathroom things, fill the kids' water bottles for tomorrow. All of these like tiny things that just take less than 2 minutes. And the fun thing is, it's really satisfying. And by the end of the day, I don't feel like my house exploded. How do I get to the time? I probably use these 2 minutes rules 3 to 5 times a day, and that's 6 to 10 minutes each day, saving 20 to 30 minutes catch-up of chores later. Okay, so that's short bursts of time. But what about the biggest time suck of all? Yep, I'm talking about your phone. So the next point is app limits that gonna save you 30 to 60 minutes a day. You wanna know what shocked me? I thought I spend about an hour on my phone a day. But my screen time, you can check it on your phone in your settings, said 7.5 hours. And I was like, wait, what? I mean, I use my phone a lot. I use it for work, I use it for working out on YouTube, I use it for music and podcasts, but not that much, right? But it turned out most of the time I was actually on WhatsApp and Instagram. I mean, it's not bad, it's just not really intentional. So then I started setting time limits. I started setting a 15 minutes timer on WhatsApp per day, and I started to set a 10 minutes timer for Instagram per week. Not day, per week. That's it. I literally asked myself, what number would 80-year-old Laura feel okay with when she thinks back how she spent her days? Not 3 hours of WhatsApp, but 15 minutes. That was okay for her. So, cutting even 1 or 2 of those quick checks per hour throughout the day easily frees up 30 to 60 minutes, and still I don't miss a thing. That's the fun thing, right? And once I cut down on the distractions, I realized I could actually focus again. Which brings me to my next tip, the focus time protection. That also saves me around 60 minutes a day. So here's the thing what I told you already. Every time you get interrupted, it takes 25 minutes to get back into deep focus. 25 minutes. I used to leave my phone on my desk. It would light up or buzz. Even if I didn't check it, it pulled me out of my focus zone. They actually made a study where they divided students into 3 different groups. One of them had their phones on their desks, the phones in their pocket, and the other one had the phones in another room. So guess who performed best during the exam? The ones with their phones far away. All of their phones made no noises, all of them couldn't see the screen, but still the mere presence of it was so distracting, like this little dopamine hit of something could have happened with your phone. Even for the group with the phone in their pockets was distracted just because the phone was in reach. So yeah, I stole that trick. So now, my phone goes in another room during work blocks. I use focus mode, only emergency contacts can reach me during that time. And also I even pause my email inbox when I write or create something. And also when the phone's in another room, if there's an important call, you will still hear it, but you have your phone out of sight and with that out of mind. Important. Not the outside world decides what catches your attention, you do, okay? So, I probably get pulled out of focus 2 to 3 times a day if I'm not careful. Each time costs about 20 to 30 minutes of productivity. That's how I cream at least 1 hour daily. Okay, we've got deep work protected. Now let's talk about starting your day right with the one task you're probably avoiding. And that's called the famous eat the frog first method that also can save you 30 to 60 minutes a day. Eat the frog, what is that? You know, that one thing you really don't want to do, but that's really important, like the email, the presentation, or the chore for your long-term important goals. And this is your frog. I used to push my frog to the end of the day. And guess what? First of all, I never got it done, or it took triple the time because I was tired, cranky, and unfocused. I remembered once trying to finish a big presentation late at night, and it took me 4 hours. The next morning I looked at it, scrapped it, and redid the whole thing in just 1 hour. That night I had wasted 3 hours just because I worked when I had no focus. So now I do it first. My energy is the highest in the morning, so I use that time for my frog. Not for the email, not for Instagram, for the important things. You know, you just have to know time isn't equal all day long. Some of us are early birds, some are night owls, but most people have the best focus time in the morning. The tasks that take you 1 hour in the morning might take you 2 to 3 hours after lunch when your brain is foggy and your energy is low. So, doing my frog first saves me 1 or 2 hours of circling, procrastinating, reworking, or dragging it through the day. Net gain, around 30 to 60 minutes daily. And once your frog is done, you've cleared the mental deck, so now let's talk about giving everything else in your day a home too. And I call this the intentional daily calendar that saved me 60 minutes plus a day. And I know planning your entire day might sound stressful, like more work instead of less, but hear me out. It is about being more intentional with your time. So when I don't have a plan, I bounce around like a pinball. I answer a message here, I doom scroll a bit here, I respond to an email, I open a drawer, walk away, check my phone again. I let everyone else decide how I spend my time, not the other way around. So now I make a loose day plan for the night before for the day. For example, 6 up, wake up, kids, breakfast, getting ready, 8 o'clock, kindergarten drop off, and only then I check my phone, not before. Then afterwards, I do my meditation, I do a quick workout, and then I start my laptop for work. And if I plan free time at 2:30, then also I take my phone and I scroll, guilt-free, that's the best of it. No second guessing or any shame with that. Creating these blockers, you start setting boundaries for yourself but also for others, to not with you. For yourself, but also for others, to not mess with your precious time. And by doing that, I save all those scattered 10 to 20 minutes chunk I used to lose without even noticing. I estimate I lost at least 6 to 10 random chunks of 10 to 15 minutes a day. So just from indecision and jumping between things. That's over an hour reclaiming by giving everything a spot. And while we're speaking of protecting your time, let's talk about your evening. And yes, I mean the phone-free bedroom. That saved me 30 minutes a day. Every night I go to bed, I used to scroll before bed, and it was my me time, you know? And then waking up to my phone in the morning, I was too tired to resist, so I grabbed it and wasted another 20 minutes. But the thing is, in this me time, I ended up sleeping later, sleeping worse, and waking up groggy. Now I set a block on my phone from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m., and this time I can't use my phone. And I use an old school alarm clock, so I still have an alarm in my room. My bedroom is a no phone zone. My sleep's better, the conversations with my partner are better, my mornings are quieter, my brain so much calmer. And I used to scroll 20 to 30 minutes before bed and another 10 to 15 minutes in the morning. So now that's time for a better rest, or actually an intentional action. No, let's zoom out. There's one more habit that stole way more of my time than I thought, and it wasn't even my phone. Don't hate me for saying this, but it's gonna be the no TV rule. That saves me also 60 plus minutes a day. I would put on a show to relax while folding laundry, and then honestly, it was 3 episodes later and I was still sitting there. Maybe you catch yourself in this too. Let me make this clear. TV isn't bad, but background noise, it just messes with your focus. And especially at night, it can eat hours if you're not careful. My husband and I, we tried a gazillion times to not watch TV for 30 days. And we never made it longer than 7 days. And you know what? It's fine. All I want to tell you is to be more intentional with your TV time. We now watch TV 1 to 2 times per week at night with a sleep timer going off at 9:30. So at that point we were forced to go to bed, and suddenly I also had more time for reading or journaling, even thinking again. And the most for going to bed on time. So just cutting out TV on weekdays reclaimed over 60 minutes per evening. That time I now use for rest, for reading, or planning the next day. And let me give you one final tip. Start with 1. Don't try to overhaul your whole life overnight. Pick one of these 9 tips that makes you feel the easiest and try it today, and then come back and pick the next. Like, this stuff compounds and can really save you time during the day. You got this, and I'm right here with you. If this gave you even one idea you want to try, I'd love to know which one. Leave a quick comment and tell me which tip you're starting with below. Not only does it help me to make more helpful videos, but also it reminds all of us we're not in this alone, we're doing this all together. Thank you.